You know, when it's all said and done, what do we actually leave behind? It's a question every single one of us thinks about. And in this explainer, we're going to dig into what it means to leave a legacy that really, truly lasts.
There's this Korean proverb that I think really gets you thinking. It goes, a tiger dies and leaves its skin. A person dies and leaves their name. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty simple, right? But the difference between those two things, the skin and the name, is absolutely massive.
So let's break that down. A tiger's skin, it only becomes valuable after the tiger is gone. But for us, for people, our name, our reputation, our entire story, that's built every single day with every choice we make while we are alive. And that tells us something so important. Our legacy isn't really about what happens after we're gone, it's about how we're living right now.
So that really begs the question, doesn't it? What does a person actually leave behind? Because, whether we're thinking about it or not, our whole life is a process of leaving something.
Every single day, we're writing a story. We're leaving a trace. And the kind of story we end up leaving, whether it's one people cherish and tell their kids, or one they'd kind of rather forget, it's all being shaped by the little choices we make moment by moment.
Okay, so that brings up an even deeper question. If you're a person of faith, what is the ultimate legacy you're supposed to leave? Is it just about having a good name, or is there something more to it?
And the answer, well, it's all about moving past just leaving a good name and aiming for a much, much deeper inheritance. This is the big idea we're going to unpack right now.
So what is it? The ultimate legacy? The most important thing a person of God can possibly leave behind is just one word: faith. But hold on. When we say faith, what are we really talking about? This isn't just about a set of beliefs or a decision you made one time. In this sense, faith is the entire story of a life lived in an active, ongoing relationship with God. It's the whole journey.
And you see this idea perfectly captured in the book of Hebrews. When it's talking about all these heroes of the faith, it says they were still living by faith when they died. Just think about that for a second. It wasn't a hobby. Their entire lives, right up to the very last breath, were defined by this posture of faith. Okay, but this is where we can get a little tripped up, because there's a huge misunderstanding about what a life of faith really looks like. It's almost never as clean as we think.
It's so easy to read these stories and imagine these people had it made. We picture them living these peaceful, easy lives where God just protected them from anything bad happening. But is that actually true? No way. Not even close. Just take Jacob. When he's standing in front of Pharaoh, the most powerful man on earth, and he's asked about his life, his answer is just gut-wrenching. He says his years have been few and difficult. The original language there paints a picture of a really harsh, sorrowful life. This was a giant of the faith, and his life was anything but easy.
And that is the whole point. See, a legacy of faith isn't built when things are easy. It's forged in the fire. It's about persevering, about hanging on to that relationship with God even when life is hard, when it's confusing, when it's unfair. That's the real story. That's the real testimony.
All right, now this is where things get really, really interesting. What if that legacy, that story of faith, could do more than just be remembered? What if it could actually speak?
I mean, we all know the saying, right? The dead do not speak. It seems like a law of nature. Once someone is gone, their voice is gone forever.
But what if it's not? What if there is a way for a person's life to keep on talking long after they're gone?
Get this. The Bible makes this absolutely radical claim about Abel, one of the first people in the story. It says, though he is dead, he still speaks through his faith. His life, lived in faith, created a voice, a message that has been echoing for thousands of years. So that's what it means to speak after death. It's not some ghost story. It's a living testimony. A life lived in a faithful relationship with God becomes a powerful story that keeps on telling future generations about God's goodness and His grace.
And the incredible thing is, you're not doing this alone. You're not building this legacy in a vacuum. You are joining this huge, timeless community.
The writer of Hebrews gives us this amazing picture. He says we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Just imagine a giant stadium, packed to the rafters with every single person who has gone before us, each one having left their own legacy of faith.
So who are these witnesses? Well, they're the Jacobs, the Abels, and millions of others we've never even heard of. Men and women who ran their own race, fought their own battles, and left their faith behind. And they're not just sitting there quietly. Their stories, their very lives are speaking to us, cheering us on.
And this is the message they're all shouting down to us. It's like the Apostle Paul himself, one of the greatest of those witnesses, is leaning out from that cloud and saying it directly to you and me, be steadfast, be immovable, because the story you are writing with your life, your labor of faith, it is not for nothing.
So it all comes down to this, for you and for me. The story of our life is being written this very second. So, what is the legacy of faith that your life is leaving behind for others to hear?